right, we're here this afternoon with Adam Schutsky, senior at Gilman School. He's off to maybe American next year. We don't know yet.
Maybe American, maybe Drexel. American's a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's American like? I've never been.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. Just far enough outside of DC where it can be in DC, still be an enclosed campus.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a metro stop, short walk away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but still they have all the buildings you'll need. No football team. Still disappointing.
That's all right.
But yeah, there's still plenty of fields to do whatever. A nice quad to go out, throw around Frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So you can, you don't need a car.
Nope.
You can just take the metro. DC metro is pretty easy to use, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, planned it out to get back and forth. It's a short bus ride, a MARC ride, a metro ride, and I'm there.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Good. So, how was your college application process? It's been a long journey. I mean,
It has been.
It's been months of applications. I know the seniors have been working hard on all that stuff, and you're finally to the end of the year almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice, the process. I went really strong until what was that, February 1st? Was, I think, my last application. And then it was a few months of nothing. I just got to relax. It was great. But now, the pressure is multiplied by 1,000 again.
Oh yeah, how
Yeah.
come?
Well, now it's time to make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go early decision anywhere. Wasn't certain at the time.
Yeah.
So now I've got to figure it out. But it's nice being down at two schools.
So what's on your mind with Drexel and American? I mean, they're both pretty equidistant, I guess. Maybe Drexel's a little further
Yeah.
from Baltimore, but
Yeah, Drexel, I really like their program. They have their co-op program.
right.
So it's 5 years, quarter system as opposed to semesters. So I'm going year round, which I think I could get used to in
Yeah.
10 weeks in school, then 2 or 3 off. But it would mean, a big change. I'd have to lose my summer jobs. But I get to work in internships and get a lot of experience. I leave with a 1.5 year experience after the 5-year program in work. But American, more traditional. I think a better arts program to keep playing drums, keep playing jazz. And yeah, that's nicer campus. I like DC more. Haven't had that much experience with Philly,
Yeah.
but that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Philly's great. It's a different city than DC, I would
Yeah.
say. But
Hey, you grew up there, right?
yeah, outside of Philadelphia,
Yeah.
25 minutes outside of Philly. But I've spent some time downtown, recently when I go back, going to the city, and I did that
Yeah.
Penn Fellowship program, so I was around there a good bit during those 2 years. So, yeah, there are a lot of good things about Philly. I really like DC too. I mean, they're just very different. You know? So that's exciting. I know. Now you just have to choose. So Schutsky, what do you think you want to study? What do you think you want to do? Do you have any idea in college, or is it going to be sort of an exploratory sort of experience for you?
It's exploratory. Right now, the general scope is data management, analytics. If I go to American, it'll be more on the entertainment side, music industry, film industry, seeing how that works with data. They have a curriculum with AI to learn about it, how to use it. So that'd be cool to work with and get to know more. If I go to Drexel, it'll be behavioral economics, business, and organizations, which I'll tie into data and data management.
Is music something that you want to pursue?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Totally. So playing music definitely wherever I go.
Yeah. You don't want to stop.
No, I don't. I'm president or co-president with Trey Taylor of our jazz band here. Been doing it for 3 years now. I play percussion or concert band. I think I've been in everything at this point. I've played with the bell choir, played with string ensemble. I don't leave anything out. I think that's all I've done. But playing percussion and everything, pretty intensely. So I want to keep playing next year.
When did you get into music, and when did you start playing instruments?
So I've been into music forever. I love going to shows, traveling around to see music of whatever genre. Playing music, It's been probably 5 or 6 years or so. My uncle plays the drums, and I was up for one summer in Maine to visit him. And, he showed me his kit, his whole collection in the basement. It looked so cool. All the drum kits set up everywhere. I sat down for a few minutes. He showed me some basic things. And for the week we were there, I don't think I left the basement. I was stuck down there.
So who taught you? Did you take lessons, or how'd you really learn how to play the drums?
I took lessons for a short amount of time in the beginning, maybe like 3 or 4 months, I'm thinking, from a friend of my dad who also lived nearby. After that, I've been self-taught.
Wow.
Really, yeah.
YouTube?
A little bit of YouTube, yeah. Drumeo. It's this YouTube channel where I can. They have lessons, but also just like a lot of more talks with famous drummers about different concepts and whatnot. So I've learned a lot from that.
Well, you have to have a natural rhythm. I mean, you've got to sort of have that skill going into playing an instrument. I don't know if I, other than dancing, and I think we played the recorder in like 6th grade or something. I've never really had a experiment. Like, I've never experimented with playing an instrument like that before, so I wouldn't really know if I could keep a beat like you do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching you and Dallas Jacobs play when you do those concerts.
Yeah, we have another one in about a month here. Yeah.
What's it like playing with him?
It's with playing with him. I think he's more used to playing on his own or not with many people. So and also from the guitar standpoint versus drums, he's very his rhythm's very organic. Mm-hmm. I'll say, it's he more uses rhythm as an expressive tool, where when I'm playing with the jazz band, it has to be systematic, rudimentary, like perfect, to make sure everyone's together. Mm-hmm. So those two perspectives kind of combat each other when we play together.
But it's fun though.
But it's fun, yeah. It's a good time, and it's neat to see his perspective of blues guitar versus jazz drums, which there's so much overlap there. But we find the differences and work through them.
Now, how often do you practice drums?
I try to daily. At school it's 3 days a week for an hour and a half each day, sometimes more. But at home I'll play for about 30 minutes each day, 45 minutes maybe. In my basement I'll play to a track, put on headphones like these, sit down and work on it. Yeah.
Is it relaxing? Is it somewhere to go to sort of zone out and, you had a long day at school, you go to your drum set?
It could be. Could be relaxing.
I just feel like when you're, smacking the drums, you're
letting
it loose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's relaxing a lot of times. Sometimes it's to pick me up. It's whatever I want it to be.
Does your family get annoyed with the sound? Do you have like a soundproof system, or will they hear you when you're down there?
They hear me very well. And I don't realize it until I have a friend over that wants to play the drums. So maybe I'll be in my room upstairs and they go down to the basement to play the drums, and it is very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they've got to cap it at 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, that's about.
That's your time.
And I have a rule with my neighbor: nothing past 9:30.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of hobbies. I think you're one of the more interesting people I've met at Gilman in my time here, 6 years here. You play the drums, but you're also really into kite flying.
Yeah.
And I really want to talk to you about where that interest came from. And I know you've gone around the world kite flying. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so it turns out there's so much more to kite flying than just putting up your little single line kite at the beach once every year. My dad has always been into kite flying, big thing with the big tail, and you can fly loop-de-loops with it, and it looks cool. That's the earliest thing I knew of a stunt kite, which is more than one string to control how it moves. About 7 years ago now, coming up on 8, we went down to Ocean City, Maryland to meet a professional kite club, which I had no clue existed. And it was people with these stunt kites that you can control with many strings, flying like 4, 6, 8 people at a time. And they were making all these shapes in the sky, and they could line it up with music and put on a whole show that it was one of the coolest things I've seen.
So a stunt kite is one person operates, but just multiple strings?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I fly are called quads. Quad for 4 strings. you hold two handles, and each handle has a string at the top and the bottom. So by going back and forth or forward and back or whatever, you can control the different like wings of the kite basically, and shape it to the wind to deflect and fly however you want. Yeah. I can go up, down, spins, left to right. I can do three-dimensional tricks like fly it around me in circles, or make it like, if it's square to the wind's coming at it like this, I can make the whole thing go flat and like spin around horizontally. So there's a lot you can do with it.
Now, what is the image on the kite? Like, do you have a favorite kite that you fly, or is there, like, I'm trying to imagine what these kites look like when they're up there.
Yeah, so think like two triangles put together are your two wings. That's the general shape of it. And then the kite itself, there's so many different types. But the general layout is like, the more you go up in wind, the more holes you have in your kite to let more through. Mm-hmm. So my lowest wind kite is a full sail. There's no holes in it. It's perfect, like your perfect sail across the whole thing. But my highest wind, it's like maybe 2 strips. I'll say 3. We'll say 3 strips, and mostly it's just like empty space in the middle.
So you're monitoring the weather and then choosing which kite you take out based on the weather. So how many kites would you say you have based on the different types of wind that will kind of be thrown your way?
Yeah. In order to cover the whole wind range from nothing, because I do fly indoors.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
How does that work?
You walk around, you make your own wind. A lot of people think there might be fans or something. It's just, if the same way if you take a sheet of paper and move your hand really fast and the paper bends back, that's just it feeling your wind. Huh. So you do the same thing with kites. You walk backwards, a little more sophisticated than that, and you can generate wind to keep your kite up.
Wow.
Yeah. But between that and like hurricane force wind, I can probably cover the whole range in like 5 to 6 kites. But between my dad and I, we both do it. We probably have, I don't know, 15 more of these kites.
Now, how does a competition work? Like when you go kite flying, how do you judge which kites are doing better than others? Mm-hmm. How long they're up there in the air?
No, although I think there's a world record for that. I'm not sure what it is. Generally, there's 2 kind of categories. And the one is going to be precision flying. They give you a shape, and you have to match that shape as perfectly as possible in the air. The other one is going to be ballet, and this is like figure skating, almost. You play a song, you perform to it, and then you're scored on how well you match the music, how much the audience liked it, how much you engage with the audience, and then there's certain tricks here and there that you can do that get you a certain amount of points.
It's like a puppet show almost.
Yeah, almost, yeah. Huh. And then there's all of that by yourself or with a team of people, which goes to a whole new level.
Interesting. Yeah. I've never thought about this before. So when you go to a kite, like how many people will be at a show or a contest? Is that what they're called, contests?
Yeah, sure. The largest competition I've done is maybe 30 or so people. This was a year ago in Long Beach, Washington. I was out there for. It was more just a week long of kite flying, but one day we had a competition in mystery ballet. So it's the figure skating one with a song, but you do it with a song you've never heard before, and you got to trust the judgment of the sound team.
Wow! So that's combining your rhythm with kite flying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That's
both
great.
Sides. Yeah, but thankfully they gave me a song I knew, and I was able to put up a good show and take first place there.
Wow.
It's pretty exciting.
Wow, it's so interesting to me that, something that I see as a hobby, like I go to the park and I see people flying their kite and, I don't think much of it, but this is a serious thing for this. This is a competition.
Yeah.
And you've gone to Washington State, you're saying?
Yes.
Wow, you've gone to some really cool places to do this.
I have, yeah. I've gone to Washington State on the world's longest beach, I'm pretty sure. Definitely in the country, the longest beach. I recently went down to South Padre Island, Texas, the southernmost point in Texas. Like literally driving down the highway, we saw exit signs for Mexico. Like that's how close we were. Pretty cool to see.
What was the wind like down there?
It was good. We were down there for a 3-day festival, and the idea is one day we were indoors for a show of about 1,200 people. They charge admission for it, which is pretty unique for the sport. And we had people from all over the country and even world to perform there. And the next day we were going to be outdoors, but the weather was so strange down there. It was probably 40 degrees, blowing 30 miles an hour. It's like nasty out, raining. The next day it was 85 and sunny and 0 wind. So go figure. But we made the most of it, and thankfully we had enough kites to make it work.
That's great. So you are always with your dad when you're doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started out as just a thing he did. I slowly got into it with him. But then we both met this club that we're both in now, Wings Over Washington, or WOW for short. We've both gotten into it pretty much equally now.
Is it a local club or is it national?
It's local. We meet in Washington, D.C. Monthly, right on the mall, right at the base of the Washington Monument. As a club, we meet almost weekly in either Baltimore or Washington, somewhere in between.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're flying kites all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. We don't get to go to a big event probably maybe every 2 or 3 months or so.
Yeah.
There's a few in Ocean City, Maryland, a few in New Jersey up and down the coast, a few further away. But either way, we're flying all the time.
You think you'll continue this when you go to college and
Yeah.
you're on your own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You could just go in D.C. You can meet your club.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that live right by where American is. And that was definitely part of my draw to stay close, either in Philly or D.C. or in between, to keep doing this. But I imagine I'll keep going after college even. Yeah, and that's actually a funny little anecdote. I always say I'm the youngest member of the club, and my dad's the second youngest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
like a retired sport.
Definitely a retirement sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of old people. There's only a handful of people my age doing this across the country.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you're the only person I've ever met who does kite flying competitions. That's fascinating.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah. You're also a Frisbee player.
Yes. And
you are part of Gilman's not only the intramural sports Frisbee team, but also you compete. You play other teams in the league.
Yeah, our classification is a little weird because we're not an interscholastic sport. I guess you can call us a varsity sport then, maybe. We do have an A and B team.
Now, do you like that, or do you like sort of the relaxed, leisurely aspect of just showing up at the field and playing ultimate Frisbee?
Leisurely is fun. We do that in the fall time. Fall time's intramural Frisbee.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys out there. It looked fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Relaxed, everyone gets to play. You get to develop your different throws. This time of year, it's nice to be more locked in with the schedule. We're running drills every day. We're competing. Right now we're 0-2, but we're promising.
That's great.
We're coming up. Yeah.
What is the trick to the overhand Frisbee toss?
Where
you snap your wrist like
that. That's a forehand.
Forehand.
I just recently got it.
Wow, and you've been playing for a while.
I've been playing for a while, yeah. I've got my backhand down. We were kind of crossing over your body with your arm. The forehand, open hand, it's all in the fingers and all in the wrist, and every once in a while it locks in. Every once in a while. Sometimes I try to do it and it'll just roll away from me.
Well, it's a great day for Frisbee today.
Oh yeah, excellent day.
Perfect weather.
Yeah, our next game is tomorrow.
How many games are on the schedule for interscholastic Frisbee?
I think we have 3 or 4 more. Yeah, after our first 2. We played Friends, Loyola. We're going against Chesterton soon, and we'll get another game against Friends.
Great.
Plus a few more. I'm blanking on it right now.
So let me ask you a couple questions just about you're moving on from Gilman. You're a senior. You've got 2 months left of school before graduation. What do you think you're going to miss most about being here? I'm leaving too in a couple months, so we're both sort of in the same ballpark. But
you're a senior here.
Yeah, basically senior. Got some senioritis. What are you going to miss so much about Gilman? And how long have you been here?
I've been here 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah, I came in 8th grade.
And were you living in Baltimore when you came here?
Yes.
Or did you move?
I've been in the same house.
Okay.
It's gonna be strange. This has kind of become a second home for me. Spend all my time here. I have all my classes, all my extracurriculars, most of them, all my sports. I'm so sewn into the community. What I think I'll miss most is walking around and knowing everybody. Because I love that. I love striking up conversations, checking in with people, seeing how they're doing. It's going to be weird 4 months from now when I'm walking around and might know one person.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'll be a slow process to get back to.
Yeah, making new friends and building relationships.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a little. You're sort of starting, back at square one. You've got to introduce yourself. You've got to learn all this new information about people. It's fun. It's exciting, sort of, but it is a big change.
Yeah. That was kind of my move coming here in 8th grade. I came from a school in South Baltimore where it was a little strange to leave, after 7th grade. Most people were sticking it through middle school. So when I said I'm leaving then, got a few red looks. People don't really like it. And I came here and knew nobody. It was a totally fresh start. So over the 5 years, I've worked my way into the community here. But it's nice to know that I've done it before, and I'll push through it again.
What do you think makes Gilman such a special place, like in terms of what we do differently than maybe other schools? Like why do you think that Gilman is unique, I guess, amidst all the other schools in the area? Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
A little philosophical here.
Yeah.
Definitely it's community with, how people always come back. I've seen, people from class of 23, 22.
Yeah.
This year always coming back. I'll definitely be coming back for like the McDonough game, Silent Night next year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very involved community. I also love how everyone does everything for the most part. At other schools you have your athletes and your musicians and your artists. Here, like it's such a busy place. That's kind of the reason we're always late to everything or missing, things you've signed up for. But I love how you can look at one person and say, oh, let's take Trey Taylor, for example, my co-president.
Yeah.
How he's in jazz band, but also an artist, but also plays water polo. Like, we're all very involved.
Yeah. What have been some of your favorite classes that you've taken here at Gilman?
I can't miss 11th grade English.
That was a good class.
Yeah, it was a great class. Probably because of the teacher, but also everyone was really involved. There weren't any slackers in that class.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That was an excellent class. This year I got kind of concentrated on Baltimore as an area of study, and I took Baltimore Studies first semester over at Bryn Mawr, and then Urban Studies here second semester. Both really related classes, but both interesting in their own right.
Who teaches urban studies?
Mr. Molina.
What is that class all about? Like, what do you learn about in there?
So we did a little bit of a history of Baltimore, how it came to be, why it's such an interesting city, being like kind of central in terms of a north or a south city, our history of immigration, what we're connected to today. It's a really neat city. But also we've shifted more into the idea of like, I guess urban planning is the best way to say it. Mm-hmm. What people need and how to organize that most efficiently. And it's especially neat looking to college next year where we're going to be in a little mini ecosystem of a city where we have our home, our place of work or school, where we eat, where we meet people, where we socialize. Like, it's all going to be in such a small spot that it's neat to learn about what a city is now to know next year.
Love it.
Yeah.
DC is an interesting city because there aren't, you don't feel all the time like you're in a city there because there aren't big skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Like New York City, I feel like I'm in a city. It's busy and, cabs are honking at you and there's skyscrapers everywhere and a ton of people. When I'm in DC, it feels just like almost a town.
Very green.
It's not overwhelming to me like other cities are.
Yeah. That'll be neat, being a part of that more. I've been with kite flying. I've been going down to DC almost every month for the past 5 years. So like I feel like I know the city enough to get around and where to find large landmarks.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel comfortable there already, it sounds like.
As opposed to Philly.
Yeah.
Or I've been to New York a few times. It's always overwhelming no matter when you go.
It's fun, but it takes
fun.
some getting used to,
Mm-hmm.
Well, Adam, the last thing that we do on our podcast is ask for book recommendations. Have you read anything recently, or do you have any book recommendations for our audience that have had an impact on you in the past, either this year or just in your life?
I'll call back to my 2 classes, Baltimore Studies, Urban Studies. In both, we looked at Not in My Neighborhood by Antero Pietila, which was an excellent book, first off. But we looked at it in both classes a little differently, looking at the history of Baltimore and the relationship between different racial groups, different socioeconomic groups, and how that's all come to be where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll go with that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today. It was fun to catch up, and I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you have a big decision to make. It's an exciting decision, but it sounds like you sort of have some good ideas about it, and hope you have a great rest of your senior year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.